Iron Maiden with Powerslave. Now, for the record, we've opened it up to the audience here to decide for us what we're going to be reviewing here tonight. 8 tracks, 50 minutes, the 5th studio album from the UK 5-piece, released September 1984 by EMI Capital. Produced by Martin Birch, recorded at Compass Point Studios in Nassau, which is in the Bahamas. 2 singles were released, 2 Minutes to Midnight and Aces High, taking the album to number 21 in the US, number 2 in the UK, while charting well across Europe, going 2 times platinum in Canada, platinum in the US, as well as gold in the UK and Germany. This is the band's first consecutive release with an unchanged lineup, and the consequent tour of this album is what brought about the hugely popular Live After Death. Nick?
Okay, so Powerslave, so 1984 was released. This is the first of 3 what I call the concept album trilogy. Even though the band doesn't really call it that, but the 3 in succession, yeah. The Egyptian theme and that cover art just gives you a really good idea of what's to come on this album. And namely, the band will be incorporating some Middle Eastern themes into their music, which I hadn't done up until that time. Honestly, for me, Powerslave, it's a bit of a mixed bag of an album. Half the tracks on it, whilst they've got potential, really don't do much for me, to be honest. On the other hand, some of their greatest numbers are also on this album. So, yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a mixed bag for me. Okay. Aces High kicks off the album. That's probably my favourite opening to any Maiden album ever. Okay. To the point where they open most of their shows with it still to this day. So, it's a song that's a bit, like I say, it's powerful lyrics, the breakneck speed. It's just everything that I love about Maiden in that one track. Powerslave, that's the title track. For me, that's easily Maiden's best track title since Number of the Beast when that was released. And in my mind, probably much better than Number of the Beast, truth be told. Obviously, you know about the song. It's about the Pharaoh and his whole descent to madness and does want to break up with power and all this kind of stuff. But really, it's the just the musicianship on Powerslave, and they started incorporating some new elements into that title track. By far, the standout track for me on this album is the Rime with the Ancient Mariner. By far, this is Maiden's most epic song and probably their finest as well, to be honest, or definitely in top 3 for me. It's got excellent narrative lyrics, and it uses verses from the original poem that it was based on throughout the song, which is, a lot of songs are based on movies, art, and poems, all this kind of stuff. This one actually took verses from the poem and incorporated it. Nearly 14 minutes long, and not once during that 14 minutes do I feel like turning this off. It just really captivates me from start to finish, and just one of my most favourite ever songs. Other songs worth buying the album for are Back in the Village, even 2 Minutes to Midnight, even though, look, I hate that chorus, I always have for some reason, don't know why.
Okay.
Great verses though, but overall it's a pretty good song. The bad side of it, where I said it was a bit of a mixed bag, the half-half. Songs like Flash of the Blade, Lost for Words, seriously, man, enough of the fucking instrumentals already. Anyone knows anything? I hate instrumentals on albums for some reason. I think they could just be that time better spent doing something else. They do nothing for me, and The Duelist, that just pisses me off immensely because it rips off the melody of Where Eagles Dare to a T. All they did was change the lyrics. If you go listen to, when you get home, listen to The Duelist and listen to Where Eagles Dare. It's like listening to the same song. Look, overall, if I weigh up the good and bad, I'd have to say this is, up until that point, it was the best overall album up to that point. And it deserves an album. No, it does, because when it's good, this thing is bloody awesome. So it deserves its ranking as an all-time classic because of the strength of the good material on here. My only complaint is the 3 weakest songs on the track are all sequenced together. And that kind of brings it down for like about a 10 or 15 minute period. So, yeah, standout tracks for me: Aces High, Back in the Village, Powerslave, and The Rime with the Ancient Mariner. And yeah, I gave it squeezed an 8 out of 10.
Here we go. Now let's get Dave to retort to that.
Well, you might be in for a shock. Second album with this lineup, and coming off a huge world tour, the bands are at the top of their game. With Powerslave, they're continuing on with the style and success of the previous 2 albums, and they're making everything bigger, faster, darker, and more epic. Rime with the Ancient Mariner being the longest track they've done to date. I think it was until Book of Souls.
Until Book of Souls, yeah.
I would give this album a 10 out of 10 for the opening track alone, Aces High, which would be one of the best songs ever written, and it's been a long-time favourite since Live After Death was the first Maiden album I heard, so that was like my first experience hearing Maiden.
Okay.
But you factor in Powerslave, that song as well, that is like one of my all-time favourite songs, so 2 amazing songs, but much like what Nick was saying, the album does lose something for me in the middle, and I think it's the same 3 songs you were mentioning. Very often after Lost for Words, I often just skip straight to Powerslave. Yeah. But with the strength of the other songs, Aces High, 2 Minutes Till Midnight, Lost for Words, Powerslave, and Rime with the Ancient Mariner, I give it 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Cool.
This is really interesting. We don't talk to each other at all.
No,
We've got a serious rule when we review these albums. We don't talk to each other at all. No,
And he's the
No,
enforcer of the
we
rules.
don't
too.
talk.
we don't talk. We don't even like each other.
No. Why are we here?
I think there's beer.
To be on television, that's why.
But Powerslave to me was the first album I reckon where Maiden captured their sound fully.
Yeah.
Like it was an amazingly captured, recorded, mixed album. I think it sounds great. And like you guys said, Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight comes off to an absolute kicker. I love Lost for Words. It's one of my favourite instrumentals of all time to listen to and to play. It's just fun. It's a cool tune. But I have the same problem in that middle of the album. When you get to Flash of Blade, Jewelers and Back in the Village, I sort of tune out. And you want to come back in for Powerslave and Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah.
So it's sort of interesting that we both have that, or we all have that sort of lull in the middle. That being said, it's far from shithouse. It's just not as good as the bookends of the album.
Yeah.
Which I just find absolutely incredible to listen to. Rime of the Ancient Mariner is a masterpiece of music for me. I give this one a 9 out of 10. The highlights for me are Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, and Lost for Words.
Funny how people are laying the criticism on, but they're still rating it very highly.
Well, pretty fucking good.
It is, and allow me to get my words out of there. So, Martin Birch is the producer for this band. He was the right man for this band for a long time. It was a very good choice to use him for as long as they could until he retired. Production-wise, there's nothing overly different from the previous release to this one, but the tones are well captured and presented with possibly a little more depth on this one, but I found the guitars back a little bit as the point of difference. Like on the previous album, the guitar's more up front. On this one, they were just back a touch, and the bass is stronger or more presented on this record for me. But musicianship-wise, this is a band at the height of its powers. Now, the writing is fantastic, the performances to match, fantastic lyrics, and this one has it all and follows up perfectly from the last album as far as I'm concerned. I do feel like there's more focus, a little more focus on the riffs and solos on this time around, and it works well. It makes the album stand apart from the ones up till this point. And while you guys have sort of knocked the Duelists a little bit, I think that song actually showcases the development of the trade-off guitar work in a fantastic way. There's just so much talent on display on this one record. Nico and Steve do everything they're supposed to lock it all down, but they don't get left out of the fun either. So you find Steve, he sits back and just does what the bass player is supposed to do, but then he sort of leaps forward and goes and takes the lead for a while as well, which is very, very cool. It's a great united band, and you can feel that on this record. And I love how no two releases are exactly alike from this band. They all fit, but it's never a carbon copy, while also never straying too far from the formula that works best for them. There's more pronounced atmosphere on this one. It's grown over the years. It's little things in the backing vocals, for example, especially on the title track, that really show how far they've come on as overall songwriters. And for me, this is a must-have quintessential Iron Maiden album. If you've never heard this, or Piece of Mind for that matter, unfuck that right now. And again, for this one, just like they did on the last one, they ride that slightly loose edge, and they do it really well. Not many can do that and pull it off. Too many slide off and it becomes sloppy. These guys just ride the edge, and it's like the whole galloping of horses thing. They just sort of sit there and just keep it in control. More of this, please, for me, and I love how their epic tracks get better as they go along. In hindsight, I think for me personally, I've been a bit guilty of underselling this album. I think it's grown on me more over the years, and I love how this was the follow-up to Peace of Mind. So much growth in their writing for this one. The use of space and the other elements or effects are really well thought out and truly have something special. I love the midsection of Rime of the Ancient Mariner, for example. Like that, composition-wise, is fantastic. For me, I gave this one a 10 out of 10. I picked Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Powerslave, 2 Minutes to Midnight, and Aces High as my standouts. So check it out for yourselves and let us know what you think.